Hi, we are going to be talking about the excretory system today. In particular, we're going to be focusing in on the urinary system of the humans. Just so you remember, excretion is the process of forming and eliminating waste and waste products from the body. And we've learned this throughout our whole discussion of the animal kingdom. There's different organs of excretion: the lungs, which will release gas waste, we'll talk about next; the liver, which was what we talked about with the digestive system, making bile and bile pigments; sweat glands with the skin would be sweat, which would be salt, water; the kidneys, which we're going to focus in on today; and the large intestine, which we talked about with the digestive system, which was the undigestible material. So today we're going to focus in on the urinary system. The main structure of the urinary system is the kidney. Inside the kidney are about 1,000,000 different nephrons. So a nephron is a very, very important structure when we talk about the urinary system. This is the excretory tubules of a human, and it is quite involved with its structure. And we will kind of go through this entire structure as we go through the nephron. The main function of the nephron is for filtration of the blood, reabsorption of the necessary nutrients, water, and secretion of your urine. Okay, so that's what's going to be happening. Okay, and if you remember when we dissected the pig, we did cut open the kidney and you were able to see the entire structure. And we had you labeling the different parts of the kidney. So we're going to go a little bit more in depth than what you did in the pig dissection. So again, your nephron is made up of different parts. The first one that we will talk about is the renal tubule. Now, the renal tubular, is a tube, and again, renal is going to be kidney. Okay, so when you get this, all right, we're going to have a tube that's going to receive the filtrate from the blood. So we're getting stuff from the blood. Right? We then have what's called the Bowman's capsule. The Bowman's capsule is almost like a cup, and it will actually embrace the glomerulus, which is a bunch of capillaries, a big ball of capillaries. The filtrate that was received will then pass through the proximal convoluted tubule. Okay, and that is going to help to reabsorb the glucose, salt, water, different amino acids. It will also get rid of ammonia. We then have a loop of Henle. Okay, there's a little loop here. It's a little crazy, but the filtrate will pass through and we will get the water back from there. So we reabsorb the water. And then you have the distal convoluted tubule, all right, where the filtrate will then pass through and it will absorb the bicarbonate within. And it also helps to regulate the pH. Now, the collecting duct, okay, that is going to get the filtrate back to the actual renal pelvis, renal medulla inside of the kidney for excretion. So again, it's quite in depth on how it works. Okay, it goes, renal tubule will receive the filtrate. It will then pass into the glomerulus with the Bowman's capsule. We'll go then into the proximal convoluted tubule, to the loop of Henle, then the distal convoluted tubule, and then through the collecting duct to get out of the kidney. Okay, again, this is just showing you the glomerulus, a little better picture with the Bowman's capsule. Again, the glomerulus is just capillaries. And this is just a review of how this is all happening, okay, in the order that it goes through. It's very complex for a very small structure, and they're plentiful, about 1,000,000 in each kidney. So now let's talk about the kidney. The kidney is a pair of bean-shaped organs. They are about 10 centimeters long, and if you notice, one is actually lower than the other. The right kidney is lower than the left kidney. And it is very important because it's going to help kind of adjust the composition of the blood that passes through there. It will actually filter out the blood in a tremendous amount of time, a very quick amount of time, it does reabsorb any useful compounds. It helps the liver to detoxify. And they really do look like a kidney bean. If you remember, we did dissect them, and they were on the kind of the back or the dorsal surface of the pig, and they were bean shaped. Okay. All right. Now, the structure of the kidney is what you already have labeled when we talked about the pig. The outer zone is called the renal cortex, okay? The renal medulla, okay, are these little pyramids, and this is where you have your nephrons, or the loop of Henle will kind of pass through there. Okay, the renal pelvis, and then it connects to the ureter. The ureter is a tube where the urine will leave the kidney and drain in to the urinary bladder. So it goes kidney, ureter, and then urinary bladder, and then the urethra. And again, this is just a review of the structures within the kidney. And the main thing is that it's going to be regulating and reabsorbing the stuff that comes through the kidney, which is blood. Okay, so again, the ureter attaches to the urinary bladder, and then it gets out of our body as urine through the urethra. Okay, just two more terms: renal artery and renal vein. Renal again means kidney. Artery is blood entering the kidney because it's coming away from the heart, and renal vein is the blood leaving the kidney after it has been filtered out through the nephrons. If you have any questions, please see me tomorrow.